All right, I'm outside Frickers with women's soccer head coach, Scott Oliver. Coach, thank you. We'll start this off really quickly just by giving us a quick preview. I know your team has been out there for 2 weeks, I think 2 weeks right now for preseason, so just tell us how the team's looking, kind of a little preview of what we should expect this fall from your girls.
We're actually beat up a little bit right now from preseason. We've got a lot of injuries that have starting to creep in. So we got to get some of those kids back. We do have 10 days before our first game, so I'm not overly worried about it. That's kind of, we're looking good. We're looking deep. We're looking pretty in shape, pretty successful, things of that nature. So I'm happy with the way everything's gone, except for the injuries that have kind of shown up in the last couple days or last couple practices or scrimmage or things like that. So going forward with our season, we open, like I said, on the 28th. We should be definitely ready for that. We're going to be a different bunch than we have been the last couple of years. Last couple of years, I think we've been kind of led by one or two people that we are expected to score and play well, things like that. I think we'll have much more of a committee. We'll be a little bit more exciting, more athletic, a little bit quicker, things of that nature this season.
You mentioned like a committee, so is there any girls returning from the team last year that are standing out to you, and even some newcomers that are kind of maybe a newcomer that surprised you, or some that you're expecting to contribute maybe early on or maybe later on in the season that you can just kind of see their potential?
Yeah, our normal people have kind of been there the whole time. It kind of starts and go with us. Sophia Lenz coming back after she fractured her skull in our playoff game last year. That's been big for us. Kara Bishop's basically right along with her as our two leaders in the goal for us, which is always a very big deal in soccer. And then Julia Stancato has been terrific. She was the WAC player, the defensive player of the year last year. She's been dynamite basically in everything we've done. Kaylee Mayhaz has been super. Macy Llewellyn's been great in the midfield for us. And then really, I wouldn't say I'm shocked that kids are stepping up or surprised by really anyone. I'm just kind of more happy that it's been about time. We've had some understudy kids, Haley Curtis, even Isabel Herndon has showed up. Ashley Strong, Catherine Gordon have always been in supporting roles. I think they've had real good camps and been there and that type of stuff. Mia Dranchi has been really good for us as a junior, is stepping into probably a starting role now as a center back. So hopefully those kids can kind of keep going and keep improving and finally getting their just due for what they've worked for a long time.
I know most coaches don't care about this kind of thing, but sometimes players do. But the WAC preseason poll came out, picked us 4th. Is that kind of where you saw us, you guys being placed? Were you happy with that placing? Disappointed that you were so low? Obviously every coach is going to say we want to be at the top of that by the end of the year, and preseason polls don't matter. But like I said, it is a news thing when there's no news. So just kind of talk about 4th. Like I said, is that where you expected us to be in the conference?
No, I actually expect us a little bit lower. So because we finished 5th last year in the conference, so I actually thought we'd be a little bit lower. So I think our reputation and the quality of the freshmen that we're bringing in have kind of stepped up for that, especially after what we've lost. Up top with Taylor Mulder being able to score all those goals repeatedly. So, we are definitely shooting a little bit higher than what our conference is this year as well. I think we've got a group that should really compete for the national title. We're really green. I think they've got to raise their expectations and start expecting that. And obviously the first step, that's my goal, is winning at nationals. That's it. The conference title is gravy to me. The conference tournament championship is gravy. I want to get to nationals. I want to make some noise there and prove to these girls that they're a little bit better than what they actually believe they are.
So it's kind of like you said, the conference thing, it's if you make it to nationals, you probably already got that other stuff. You probably already got the conference championship or won the conference tournament. So in your eyes, getting to that national spot is kind of like, well, we're already going to have this other thing. So the goal is the bigger thing. It's
Correct.
Kind of the thinking, right?
Correct. I think a lot of the players, or even in a conference, their dreams to win a conference title or a conference tournament, and that's been great for our program for decades. I just think that it's time that we start reevaluating that, and those are just steps along our process. We need to perform at the national level. That's where we're at. We've got to get back there, and this is the group that's got to do that.
Not that I want to dwell on the past too much, but last season we start out 12-1, looking really good, and then I think we lose 5 of our last 6, and we lose the last game of the season, which I know every team would hate to end the season on a loss. Do you think that for you as a coach, I'm sure that's motivation, but I'm sure the players coming back know that too. Do you get a sense in camp that they're pushing a little bit harder, they got kind of a chip on their shoulder? Because you guys started out so good last year, so high, and then like kind of had a lull at the end. So do you notice any of your players kind of coming out, and have they looked different in camp this year than they did last year, maybe coming in?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question, because I never really thought about what they've done. You know, for me, it's been my motivating factor since day one. When we're 9-0 and we lost our 10th game, I was upset, and that's why I always get. I just have that motivation inside in me. The players, I don't think they think about it. I think they're ingrained in what they're supposed to do today, what they're supposed to do tomorrow, you know, to prepare for tomorrow and things like that. So I think that way our players have driven are not because we finished 1-5. They're driven because they're ready to perform, meet their goals, exceed their expectations. That's what I think that they've really done in our off season. When you're on such a competitive team, you've got to get your opportunity and you can't miss it. And I think that's the way our girls have really looked at things and tried to prepare themselves. They want to play, they want to win, they want to be successful. Obviously it's team first, but as far as the individual things go, that's why I think it's driving them more than necessarily, you know, what failure or success they had in the years past.
All right, I'll leave you with this one last question. Is there a game that you guys have, like maybe a non-conference game or even maybe one of the early conference games, is kind of that game for you that's like is what they call the measuring stick game? Is that game you guys are going to go out and you're really going to see what your team is made of, how good they are, and what you need to work on? What is that game early on in the season that you schedule that you're like, this is the one that we're going to know where we are?
Yeah, I'm actually not sure we have one. I think we have a fairly competitive schedule. We don't have a ranked opponent on it until we get to our conference. So, I mean, that's going to be it. Like, it's going to be what you're going to do against UNOH, what you're going to do against Aquinas, Madonna. Cornerstone's going to be way better. I mean, even Lords, for that fact, is going to give us a game. Adrian gave us a huge game last year, so that's kind of the game that we want to make sure we respond to as well. So there's not one opponent that I would like, hey, this is our nationally ranked game and things like that. My goal secretly is that I actually want to try to be 10-0. We finished our conference last year undefeated, and I think that's a good barometer. I think anything short of that for us this year will be more of a failure for us than anything.
All right, I appreciate you stopping by and talking to us, Coach. Good luck this season, and we're excited to see you guys in the fall.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.